Oh, welcome back. I'm the Gaming Dave. So it happened about a week ago, but we're still going to talk about this. Okay, me and you are going to talk about this. We're going to talk about Blizzcon, held in the Anaheim Convention Center every year, round about early November, late October. Blizzard gathered together to show off their stuff. So we have stuff on Hearthstone, we have stuff on Diablo III and their most recent expansion, we have stuff on World of Warcraft, and we also have some stuff on StarCraft 2, which is essentially, it was just the World Championship Finals, like the World Series Finals, held at the Convention Center at BlizzCon. So I'm not really going to delve into that much. So, let's go. Most of the news came from the opening ceremony, and then there was the further panels and stuff to kind of further discuss into more detail. But we're going to focus on the opening ceremony. So it started off with a bit of talk about Diablo 3, because Diablo 3, one of the biggest faults of the game was their real money auction house, which essentially came as an idea to trade in an effective way. Unfortunately, this damaged the game in a way. It was seen as turning the game to more of an unnecessary grind, which is never what they originally intended. So with their new expansion, Reaper of Souls, coming out, that has no confirmed release date, but there have been rumours that it's going to coincide with the closing down of the auction house, which is going to happen in March 2014. So the two would kind of make sense to put them together. But so like from the opening ceremony, that was the main piece of Diablo 3 news. Next up, we have more Hearthstone stuff. Hearthstone was talking a lot about the beta and the process that went into making this game, and kind of the feedback it got, because when the project was first discussed among Blizzard, there was a bit of skepticism. They didn't think it would quite work. It was their first free-to-play game, and there were a lot of doubts. But it started off with the in-company alpha, just letting the employees playing the game in their own hours. Otherwise they'd try and get sidetracked by doing other work if they weren't particularly interested. But they really, the Blizzard employees really enjoyed the game. Apparently, in the space of 3 weeks, they'd clocked in over 5,000 hours. I don't know how many employees there are, but either way, that is a lot of hours spent at Hearthstone. So yeah, going into that, we're talking about the beta, of course, because it's in closed beta at the moment, as I believe I've mentioned in an older video. So yeah, it was like this closed beta, who's been playing the beta? Yay! Who hasn't been playing the beta? Yay! And it's just like, we're going into open beta next month. So it's just like, that could be a month's delay. So essentially open beta around December, January time, I'll keep you informed. Because when you do, like you all know, be like, hey, come play Hearthstone with me. We could be Hearthstone friends. And I would love that, and I'm sure you would too. Please. so yeah, we have that. That's good news. And then it was talking about when the game actually becomes public. And from day one, it was always like, right, okay, we're going to have a version on tablets. So there's quite a bit of excitement for that. And personally, I would agree. I don't have a tablet anymore, but Hearthstone on the tablet would be really good. It would work really well with its mechanics and all that. They also announced there's going to be a version for the iPhone 5. Well, cheers for that. Even more cheers when they announced they're going to make an Android version. So yes, when it comes out, there's going to be, as well as a version on PC and Mac, there is also going to be a version for tablets, and there's also going to be a version on iPhone and Android. So look out for that. Should be a lot of fun. I've been playing some of the beta. It's absolutely fantastic. So I wholeheartedly recommend it. So yeah, well, that's the Hearthstone news. What else do we have? Oh yes, World of Warcraft. There have been quite a lot of World of Warcraft news. They had the World of Warcraft director by the name, I believe, of Duncan Jones. There we go. Duncan Jones, who's creating the World of Warcraft movie. Also with them had the special effects director, I think it was, who'd also worked on Life of Pi. So that's quite a lot to look forward to. I didn't quite look into that as much, but having him there with the World of Warcraft movie it's all a very exciting prospect. I think it's due out around 2015. 2015 is going to be a darn good year. Avengers 2. I think Justice League has been pushed back another year. I'm not quite sure about that. Star Wars, I believe it's 2015. And World of Warcraft movie. Yay! 2015. I'm going to be skint after going to see all those films. So yeah, we have that, and of course we were talking about, where is World of Warcraft going, and of course it was harking back to all these old days, hey, do you remember these days when it was just an RTS game, real-time strategy game? Do you remember all this stuff and all this backstory, and all the older World of Warcraft memories? It's just like, but what about the people who haven't played them? What about the people who never got to experience these stories? And then they decided to announce the new World of Warcraft expansion, Warlords of Draenor. This looks very, very good. I am considering getting back into WoW because this game does look very good. Okay, so with new features, level cap's been raised from 90 to 100. New World Draenor, essentially it's taking one of the lands from one of the previous games and essentially taking it back in time as to when it wasn't a blasted hellscape, because it was Draenor became Outland in like old Warcraft days, and then testing my knowledge here. So we have that. Then oh my god, Draenor, Outland. And yes, after the war of the Orcs and Humans, and also the rise of Elden Stormrage, then of course that's what turned it into Outland. But yes, with Draenor and Warlords of Draenor, it seems to be doing a whole back in time thing. Don't have much news on that as yet as to how they're justifying that in the game, but you got level cap raised to 100. You have other features such as garrisons. Essentially, you build your own town. You have your own followers to go do things for you, both online and offline, which is a nice little feature. I quite like the sound of that. No new races or classes, but there have been new character models, like how the characters look, their facial features and all that, and they do look pretty cool. But other than that, yeah, it's just massive. We're adding more raids, more quests, and all this, and it does look jolly exciting. So yeah, no confirmed release date for Warlords of Draenor as yet. Also, they have said that, despite some rumors, it will not be changing from its subscription model. A lot of people were saying that WoW should consider going to a free-to-play with microtransaction system, or maybe something similar to what Guild Wars 2 does. It's like one-time payment, and then you have further microtransactions. Blizzard stated that WoW was not built to be free-to-play and never was, which is completely understandable. Also, Blizzard announced a completely new game called Blizzard Heroes of the Storm. This is a MOBA, or as they are referring to it, hero brawler. Essentially, you pick a hero, which is also entirely customizable. But I'll get onto that in a minute. So it's like battleground kind of stuff. They're bringing in a whole battleground mechanics sort of thing. So it is really cool and does look really interesting. I don't know much about these kind of games, so I can't really give you much of a description. Yeah, it's cases with Heroes of the Storm. What it is it used to be called Blizzard All Stars, but they renamed it to Heroes of the Storm, essentially taking Blizzard's key characters from their franchise. So you have Diablo from the Diablo franchise, Sarah Kerrigan and Jim Raynor, as well as many others from the StarCraft franchise. You have Arthas and Illidan and Uther from World of Warcraft. Some of these names might mean nothing to you, and that's absolutely fine. But it's a case of they're taking Blizzard's characters, like Blizzard's heroes, and putting them all into this one game. Essentially, from a fan's prospect, it is all jolly exciting, and I think I might give it a go sometime. So yeah, there's that, and there's a case of it does look very interesting, and they actually claim to have invented the genre, and in a way they did, because Dota, or Defense of the Ancients, was actually a Warcraft mod, like Warcraft being their original game. So it's a case of they claimed to have invented it, and I was like, why don't we try our hand at actually creating our own game for the genre instead of just a fan-made mod? So there's that, and it's all very interesting, and it's all very exciting prospect. Okay, that's me on BlizzCon. More videos coming soon. I know I said that previously, I think. I've had a hectic few weeks, but I still want to make these videos for you, and that is why I'm here, obviously, because I want to make videos. Okay, I'm rambling. Right, I'm the Gaming Dave, and I'll see you next time.